just rebuilt the new fort. The other fort would be way down in the woods. You can't really tell if you can see it, but it's right there. Got a whole bunch of buckbrush that surrounds where I'm going to be sleeping one of these weekends. Here's the entrance. There was a stick just like this one that went from that section all the way across to in there. But that fell down and I haven't put it back up yet. Spot for my bike. It's a pretty nice trail bike. It's a huge spring in the back for trail riding. Got the seats, which are cinder blocks. I have built a fire pit, one that is not in the ground, for specific reasons. Some of them are so nothing catches fire, and so I don't really have to dig that much. And I got a lot of pine needles at the very, very bottom, so when I start it, it gets hot enough. And then I got firewood surrounding it. That is supposed to be where I sharpen up the tools, or not sharpen up, but cut up the tools that I'm using, like that. Because that's the bed. It's just made out of a bed frame that I broke up, cinder blocks, and then logs. And obviously, when I go and sleep on it this weekend, all of these are going to be covered up with my sleeping bag. And also up underneath my sleeping bag is going to be a tarp, so that my back is not in that much pain and I don't ruin my sleeping bag. This wall right here where the tire is and everything, that's next on my list of things that I need to finish up. I need to put basically the buckbrush, it's like that, all the way around to here. That's where my log pile is going to be for my fire. And down and through there, because that's like a whole entire trailways. I'll be riding my bike down it through there. Now I'm going to go take you up to where all the tools are that I used and explain what they are and how I used them. I'm back again, and here's the time to explain what tools I used and where I used them and what I used them for. Starting off with the axe. The axe is what I used mostly to chop up the firewood. Gotta resharpen the edge. As you can see, there's a lot of chips in it. I use this axe a lot. I also used a machete, which if you've seen my recent Instagram post, you'll see the machete and the hatchet that I'm getting ready to show you. I used the machete to cut down the buckbrush, and when I used it to cut down the buckbrush, it made life a whole lot easier. Then I got the hatchet. This is what I used to sharpen up the posts, and when I beat them into the ground, every once in a while I use the back of it, like just to beat it in. But I had to stop because it's starting to destroy this right here. It's starting to become sharp when it's not supposed to be. I also have to sharpen up this because I used it recently, which means I need to sharpen it. Next is a sledgehammer. I use this mostly, the only really thing I used it for is to beat the pole in. Not the pole, but the posts in. That's about it. I used my mini little camping shovel to dig up some dirt where I had to put the posts in when it was really, really dry out. Then I have my saw. It's technically a lumber saw, but not a wood saw. I use that to cut up some of the wood for the bed. And I have the rake, which was obviously to clean up the pine needles, get all the leaves out of the area, away from the fire pit. It wasn't that hard. I believe it took me maybe 3 hours total. But we've also been clearing out all of this area. And this is all of the wood that we got from it. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 log piles that we were clearing out. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content.